Hi everyone. So in this particular video, we will be learning about how to connect our private EC2 machine. Uh, Correct. How will we do SSH into our private EC2 machine? And of course, we know that private EC2 instance will not have any public IP address. Then only it will be private, of course. Correct. So to connect our private EC2, which will be within VPC, just suppose that this particular area is a VPC and the region for this particular area might be your AP South 1 or like Mumbai region, whatever region you want to create. Correct? It might be in AP South 1, this particular VPC, the rectangular area. And within this particular VPC, we will be having one public EC2 machine and the second private EC2 machine. So we have to connect to this private EC2 machine. Either it might be through our through this public EC2 machine or through our local system that we will do. So to connect it, what we will do, we will launch one VPC, and within that VPC, we will be launching one public EC2 machine, one private EC2 machine, and this public EC2 machine will have, of course, the public IP and the internet gateway will be there. With the help of that, we will connect this public EC2 machine, and then from this public EC2 machine we will make the connection to the private EC2 machine. So that will be our demo in this particular video. So let's directly move to the AWS console. Okay, so let's create with the VPC only, and the name of the VPC will be the demo, and the CIDR block we will be giving at 10.0.0.0/16. Correct. And nothing more. That's enough. Create VPC. Then create one subnet. We will go with only one subnet, and the VPC will be selecting as the demo. And the subnet name I'm just creating as a public subnet. So we have to just do the demo. So yeah, I will create one public subnet and one private subnet. Correct. Public subnet 1A, and the availability zone I will be taking as IP South 1A. In the Mumbai region we are currently, so I will be taking as 1A as availability zone. And then CIDR block for the subnet, I will be passing at 10.0.1.0/24. So that 256 IP address will be allocated to this particular subnet one. And then we will create a second subnet as well. That will be our private subnet 1A. And this subnet also we will have it in the availability zone 1A only. And the CIDR block for this 10.0.2.0/24. So that 256 IP address will be allocated to this subnet as well. Okay, that's enough. Let's create the subnet. Once we have the subnet, we will be creating two route tables, for one for the public and second one for the private one. Okay, so let's create public route, and let's give it a full name, table name, and let's select the VPC. Okay, it's the public route table. And okay, let's create one more. So this will be private route table, and then we'll be selecting the VPC, and the route table is created. Okay, so for the our public, like to make our subnets public, we will require this internet gateway as well. Correct. So we will create one internet gateway here. Let me create as demo -IGW. That will be the name. Create internet gateway. And currently status of this internet gateway is detached mode. So we will have to attach this internet gateway with the VPC where we want to have the access of internet. So we will attach with the demo VPC, and this internet gateway is attached with our VPC. Now in the route tables, in the public one, we will attach this internet gateway so that the subnet which will be in the public route table will have the access to the internet. So in the routes of the public route table, we will edit the routes and we will add the internet gateway here. So destination, we will keep it as 00, and the target will be internet gateway, and we will select the demo internet gateway. Okay, save the changes. And in the subnet association, I will be adding this subnet, what we have created as the public one. Because in the route table, we have mentioned the internet gateway, so it's the public route table. So that's why we have attached the public subnet. So once we have attached this subnet with the public route table, then it has been become the public subnet in actual. Correct. because it has the access to the internet now. Now let's move to the private route table, and we will attach the second subnet, which was the private one in this route table. So if you see in this private route table, we don't have route as internet gateway. That means this is the subnet which will be associated in this private route table will be the private subnet, and the resources which will be created in this the private subnet will have the only private, like it won't have the access to the internet. Correct. So now we have the VPC, we have the subnet, we have the route tables, internet gateway, everything is done. So let's move to the EC2 and we will launch one public EC2 instance. So according to our demo, it was like we had to create the first VPC and then we have created subnets. Now we will be launching this public EC2 machine and one private EC2 machine. And then with the help of this public EC2, we will connect the private EC2 machine. Okay. So let me get to the instances. Launch EC2 instance. I'll be giving the name as private, sorry, public. Let's create with the public one. Public EC2. And let's go with the t2.micro only. And the key pair I will be creating here. So I am giving the name as public for the public EC2 instance, public EC2, and create key pair. It's downloaded at my local system. Okay, then in the networking, I will be selecting the demo VPC what we have created, and the subnet will be the public one because I'm creating the public EC2 machine, correct? You can say their name, public EC2. So I'll be selecting the subnet, which is public subnet, so that it will have the access to the internet, correct? And the auto assign public IP, we will do it as enable, so that it will have the EC2 instance will have the public IP address allocated to it. And security group, I will be giving the name as public SG. Description, we don't require, but anyway, let me write it public SG. And this inbound security group rule is enough to do the SSH, like we have the type SSH as a protocol, and the port range 22 is enough to do the SSH on our public EC2 machine. Okay. So yeah, all these things are enough to launch the EC2 machine in the as a public. So click on the launch instance, and meanwhile this public one is being launched, let's click the instances and let's launch the second instance as well, which will be the private one. Okay, so it has been actually available as well, it's running. But let's meanwhile let's create the private one as well. So private EC2. Okay, and then T2 micro again, and once again I will create second key pair, the private EC2 with the name as private EC2, and we'll click on the create. It has been downloaded again, correct? Then let's get into the networking, and we will select the demo VPC because we are doing everything in the demo. And the subnet here for the private EC2 machine, I will be selecting the one which is the private subnet only because we are going to launch the private EC2 machine now. So that's enough. And we don't require any public IP address because it is the anyway it's the private EC2 machine. So even if you select this public IP, there is no use of having the like it won't be assigned because our subnet does not have the access to internet. So there is no use of having this enable. So we will keep it as disable only. And let's create the security group once again for this. And that will be private SG. And description also private SG. And the rule will be the same, SSH and the port 22. So either we could have used that same existing security group, what we created for the public one. But let's say we have the different security group with the same SSH and port 22 open. That's enough. Let's click on the launch instance. Okay. Meanwhile, that is being launched. Let's click on the public EC2 machine and let's do the connect. So we will connect this public EC2 machine from the console itself. So if you see, let's get into the detail of this EC2 machine. So this public EC2 machine has the public IPv4 address and private IPv4 address both, correct? And if I get into this private EC2 machine, which we have launched, okay, so you will see that for the private EC2 machine, there is no public IPv4 address. It has only a private IPv4 address, correct? So first of all, let's connect this public EC2 machine, and then we will come to this private one. So let me click on the connect, and with the username EC2 user, we will try to connect it. Okay, it's establishing the connection with the internet. Like, okay, so we are able to log in this public EC2 machine. So we can, if you want to do any activity through the root user, so we can do the sudo su and we can run any kind of command here. Okay. So we have this public EC2 machine and we have connected this public EC2 machine. But when I will try to connect this private EC2 machine, you will see that the same error, correct? No public IPv4 or IPv6 address assigned. Instance is not in public subnet. So it won't give me any option to connect this private EC2 machine from the console or from anywhere, correct? So to as per the diagram what we have created, I will have to connect first public EC2 machine, and that public EC2 machine will help me to log in into private EC2 machine. So we will do the same. But as we saw that this public EC2 machine or the private EC2 machine both had the key pair. One key pair was there to launch this EC2 machine. So for this public EC2 machine as well, uh, yeah, this public EC2 machine has also this key pair, and this private EC2 machine also had the one key pair, correct? Both of them had different key pair. So for the public private one, we gave the name as private EC2, and for the public one, we gave the name as public EC2, correct? So we have already logged into the public one, so we don't require to do anything. But for the private EC2 machine, which the key, what we have, we will create the same key on the public EC2 machine. That means whatever the content is there in the private EC2 key pair. So that key pair we will create on the public EC2 machine, and then we will try to log in into this private EC2 machine with the help of SSH command. So we will do the same. So let me create one key pair here. So that key pair has been downloaded on my local system. So let's get into the download section. And this is private EC2.pam. Right. So let me open it just once. Okay, so this is the key for the on my private EC2 current. So I will just copy the content of this file and let's go here and I will mark it as private EC2.pam. So I will be creating one file on my public EC2 machine. So this is the public EC2 machine what we have connected, correct? So I'll be creating one file here, private EC2.pam. Do the shift insert and just paste the content what we have copied. Okay, so we are done. Let me do the escape, WQ, right? And let's change the permission of this file, chmod 400, and the name of the file, private EC2.pam. So if I do the lslrth, you will see there this private EC2.pam file has the read permission only to the user. Okay. So now with we have the key pair for the private EC2 machine had the key pair this private EC2 named with that. So this file has been created on the public EC2 machine now. So now this public EC2 machine has the access to login into the private EC2 machine. And here we will log in through the private IP address, even though we don't have any public IP address for the our private EC2 instance, correct? So we will take the private IP address and we will log in into this machine. Okay. So let's do SSH -i and the name of the file like we have created as a private EC2.pam, then EC2-user at the rate, and then the private IP address 10.0.2.36. Okay. So till now, if you see till the time we are into a public EC2 machine, if you can see this particular address, it's 10.0.1.1.17. So this is the IP for the private IP for the public EC2 machine, correct? It's the public EC2 machine and the private IP address is 10.0.1.1.17. So you can see here, once I will log in the private EC2 machine with the help of this command, this 10.0.1.1.7 should be changed to 10.0.2.36. Let's do that. It's asking for yes or no. Let me do the yes. And you can see that it has been changed from 10.0.1.1.17 to 10.0.2.36. That means we are able to log in into this private EC2 machine. So now we have logged into the this private EC2 machine. To see the same thing, like Have I done the same thing or not? Let me create one file here. I will just do vi abc dot txt. Correct. I will just write something. This is my private EC2 instance file. Just example I am writing, and I did escape WQ, right? Now, if you do the catch abc.txt, you can see the message. But once I will log out, like I will do the exit from this, like just see, if I do the ls lrds, you will see the file abc.txt. But once I will sign out from this private EC2 machine, I will be again into the public EC2 machine. Okay. So connection to 10.0.236, that means with the private EC2 machine, the connection has been closed. This was the private estimation, correct? 10.0.2.36. Now, if I will do LSLRT, I won't be able to see this abc.txt. The file what we created on the public EC2 machine, private EC2.py, that is still available on the public EC2 machine. So that's how we can have the help of public EC2 or the bastion, you can say, to log in into our private EC2 machine. So, yeah, that's it for today. We will meet with the another interesting topic in new video. Thank you.